My friends, there comes a moment in every person's life when they must look beyond everything the world has told them about who they are. You are not simply a body moving through time, nor are you defined by your thoughts, your past mistakes, your accomplishments, or even the name you have carried since birth. None of these things reveal your true nature. Beneath every label, every memory, and every outward circumstance lives something far greater, your divine imagination, the eternal I am, the creative power that has always existed within you. This truth is not meant to remain a beautiful idea or a passing inspiration. It is meant to become a living experience, something you feel in the quiet depths of your own awareness. The moment you recognize it, everything begins to shift. You begin to understand what it truly means to release fear, to stop resisting life, and to trust the invisible power working through you. Letting go does not mean giving up, and it does not mean abandoning your dreams. It is one of the highest expressions of faith because it is the decision to stop fighting appearances and to acknowledge that the creative force within you is infinitely greater than anything happening around you. Most people spend their lives trying to force life into the shape they want. They wrestle with circumstances, worry over outcomes, and exhaust themselves trying to control every detail, believing that effort alone will bring them peace. But true transformation begins when you stop allowing anxiety to direct your life and instead choose to occupy the inner state of the person whose desire has already become reality. When you genuinely live from that state, life has no choice but to reflect it. This requires trust. It requires confidence in the unseen. The creative power within you is already accomplishing what your limited mind believes it must struggle to achieve. Do not confuse relaxation with laziness, because relaxation is not the absence of action. It is the absence of inner conflict. It is the quiet certainty that your desire has already been accepted in the unseen. When you rest in that certainty, there is nothing left to prove, nothing left to chase, and nothing left to force. From that peaceful state, life begins arranging itself in ways that effort alone could never accomplish. Creation is not born from struggle, it grows from conviction. You do not attract what you desperately pursue, you attract what naturally reflects the person you believe yourself to be. Your inner identity is always creating your outer experience. Each night, when the noise of the world fades and silence surrounds you, you meet your true self. In those still moments, you stand before the creative intelligence that can reshape the past, transform the present, and open the future. That silent awareness within you is not separate from the power that governs life itself. To trust the universe is ultimately to trust yourself, because there has never been any separation between you and the creative source. The world around you is only the visible expression of the assumptions you continually accept within. Trying to control external events while ignoring your inner state is like polishing a mirror while refusing to change the image standing before it. The journey of letting go begins the moment you stop asking the outer world for proof. Your senses can only report yesterday's assumptions. They cannot reveal what you are becoming. When you stop demanding signs and instead immerse yourself in the feeling that your wish has already been fulfilled, you leave behind your old identity and step into a completely new one. No longer are you someone hoping life will improve. You become someone who already knows it has. There is a sacred discipline in believing without immediate evidence. Every time you confidently accept an unseen reality as true, you plant a seed within the invisible world. If you remain loyal to that assumption, instead of constantly doubting it, the outer world must eventually reshape itself to match your inner conviction. That is simply how the law operates. But this process asks something of you. It asks you to become still. It asks you to release your attachment to old circumstances and allow the former version of yourself to fade away. Just as a caterpillar cannot become a butterfly without surrendering its previous form, you cannot carry yesterday's identity into tomorrow's reality. Whenever you obsess over your desire, constantly worry about it, or endlessly search for ways to make it happen, you unintentionally affirm that it is still missing from your life. The harder you cling, the more you reinforce the feeling of absence. This is why so many people struggle to receive what they deeply long for. They have not truly released their attachment. They continue reaching, pleading, and doubting, while the answer waits quietly within their own awareness. Real fulfillment is never born from desperation. It comes from quiet acceptance. The moment longing ends, receiving begins. And receiving becomes possible only when your inner world accepts the reality you desire as already accomplished. You cannot live in two states at once. You cannot claim that something is already yours while secretly fearing it never will be. Your dominant inner conversation always reveals what you truly believe. If your private thoughts continually contradict your dream, then your state has not yet changed. Begin speaking differently to yourself. Hear conversations in your imagination that imply success. Listen inwardly to congratulations already spoken. Carry yourself with the quiet confidence of someone whose victory is already certain. This is not pretending. It is choosing the state from which your future will naturally unfold. Relaxation creates the perfect environment for imagination to work. Just as a farmer plants a seed and trusts nature to complete the process, you must plant your assumption and allow it to grow without constantly disturbing it through fear and doubt. Accept your desire as fulfilled. Feel the relief. Smile without needing immediate proof. Know that your responsibility ends the moment you embody the desired state, because the unfolding of events belongs to a power far greater than your conscious effort. You do not need to understand every step that leads from your assumption to its fulfillment. Your only task is to remain faithful to the identity you have chosen. Life itself will build the bridge that carries you there. This is one of the greatest secrets. Everything already exists. Every possibility, every version of your future, every expression of who you can become already lives within infinite consciousness. You are not creating something from nothing. You are simply aligning yourself with a reality that has always existed. When you relax, trust, and release the need to control every outcome, you naturally move into that reality. The world responds by reorganizing itself around the new person you have accepted yourself to be. Many people sincerely say they have been visualizing, repeating affirmations, and trying to believe, yet they still feel as though nothing in their lives is changing. More often than not, the issue is not a lack of effort, but an inability to release the desire and live from the feeling that it has already been fulfilled. Instead of resting in the inner certainty that their wish is complete, they keep returning to the outer world for proof, and that constant looking only reinforces the sense of absence. This is where everything must be reversed. Do not wait for reality to confirm your belief, but allow your belief to become the cause of reality's change. Trust what you feel within more than what you currently see around you, because that is how the invisible becomes visible. Trusting the universe is not blind optimism. It is the decision to see with imagination rather than physical eyes, to walk in faith rather than let temporary circumstances dictate what is true. Time belongs to the physical experience, but within consciousness, everything already exists now. The moment you genuinely accept a new identity, unseen forces begin moving into place, and people, opportunities, and situations quietly rearrange themselves, not because you forced them, but because your inner state has shifted. True surrender is simply agreeing inwardly with the truth of who you choose to become. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means refusing to entertain thoughts that contradict your vision and no longer feeding the old story with your attention. It is not weakness but mastery, because the person who can remain peaceful while knowing their desire is already fulfilled holds far greater power than the one who constantly struggles to control every outcome. Go inward, close the door on the noise of the outside world, and enter the quiet place within yourself. From there, declare your new identity not only with words, but with feeling, until that feeling becomes so familiar, it feels like home. Once you have accepted it, release your need to know exactly how, when, or through whom it will appear. Those details do not belong to you, and if you try to carry them, you take on a burden never meant for your shoulders. Your role is not to manage every step of creation. Your role is to assume the fulfilled state and remain faithful to it. Become like a child again, trusting with innocence, expecting with joy, and accepting with simple confidence. Release your obsession with perfect timing, your need to control every detail, and the urgency that insists everything must happen immediately. Because the moment you stop desperately needing your desire, you become available. As you continue living from this new awareness, you begin to notice subtle shifts taking place around you. At first, they may seem almost too small to matter, quiet enough to overlook. Yet they are the unmistakable signs of an inner transformation that is already underway. People begin responding to you differently. Opportunities appear where obstacles once seemed fixed. Doors that felt permanently closed start opening with surprising ease. The remarkable thing is that you are no longer chasing these changes or forcing them into being. They arrive naturally because your inner atmosphere has changed, and life is simply reflecting that change back to you. Others may wonder how you remain so calm while everything around them feels uncertain, or why you seem so steady without needing constant reassurance. What they cannot see is that your confidence no longer depends on circumstances. It rises from a deeper place, from a sanctuary within where you have learned to trust your own creative power. You understand now that peace is not something borrowed from the world, it is something created from within, and once it is established there, it begins to shape everything outside of you. Persistence now takes on an entirely different meaning. It is no longer about forcing results, pushing harder than everyone else, or struggling to prove that your desire is real. Real persistence is the gentle but unwavering return to the feeling of your wish already fulfilled. Whenever fear or doubt tries to speak, you do not wrestle with it or give it more attention than it deserves. You simply return to your chosen state until it feels natural, until it becomes the place from which you live rather than the place you visit occasionally. As this becomes your normal way of being, you stop searching for signs because you realize your own life has become the sign. You stop asking others for validation because your quiet certainty speaks more powerfully than words ever could. There is a peaceful strength that comes from knowing instead of hoping, from believing instead of begging, from resting in the inner conviction that what you have accepted inwardly is already yours. The more relaxed you become, the more vivid your imagination grows. Instead of trying to control every detail, you discover the freedom of allowing life to unfold. You realize that your greatest work has already been done the moment you accepted the fulfilled state within yourself, and everything that follows is simply the natural unfolding of that inner decision. You are never placed in this world merely to struggle. You are created to awaken to your creative nature, to remember that within you lives the same imagination that gives birth to every possibility. Once you remember this, you stop asking when your dream will arrive, because you recognize that the source of every dream already exists within you. Trust becomes effortless. You no longer question whether the seed will grow because you know it has already taken root. Just as a gardener waters a seed without digging it up every day to check its progress, you nourish your desire with faith, gratitude, and joyful expectation, allowing life to complete what imagination has already begun. Soon you discover something unexpected. You begin to enjoy the present moment again. Happiness is no longer postponed until some future achievement arrives. You appreciate ordinary moments because your heart already feels full. Long before physical evidence appears, your inner world has become rich with fulfillment, and you carry yourself like someone who already possesses what they once sought. This is the secret so many overlook. They keep trying to make life happen, and in doing so, they reinforce the belief that it has not happened yet. But the one who rests in quiet confidence, who lives from the fulfilled state without forcing the outcome, naturally attracts experiences that reflect that inner certainty. True surrender is not giving away your power, it is returning to it. It is remembering that your imagination is the beginning of every creation. When you stop struggling against life and instead align yourself with the reality you wish to experience, the world gradually begins reflecting that choice. Every day becomes an opportunity to return to your chosen state. There will still be moments when old fears try to return or circumstances attempt to convince you that nothing is changing. But do not fight those moments. Simply remember who you have become. Return to the feeling of already having. Return to your inner knowing. The more often you do this, the less influence appearances will have over your peace. As Neville often taught, today's facts are simply yesterday's assumptions made visible. They are not permanent truths. They are echoes of a former state. The moment you choose a different assumption and remain faithful to it, you begin writing a completely different future. The outer world is not where creation begins. It is only the screen upon which your inner consciousness is projected. If you wish to change the picture, you do not argue with the screen. You change the image within yourself. Clear away fear. Replace doubt with certainty. Let imagination become more convincing than circumstance. There is no need to plead with life or convince anyone else of your vision. The kingdom you seek is already within you. It is the quiet certainty that what you have accepted inwardly is already yours. From that certainty, miracles no longer appear extraordinary. They become the natural expression of a mind that has learned to trust. Carry this feeling with you wherever you go. Let it shape your conversations, your posture, your expectations, and your daily decisions. Walk through life as someone who already possesses the reality they once desired, not to impress anyone, but because it has become your truth. So continue returning to that inner scene where your wish is fulfilled. Feel its reality until it becomes more familiar than your present circumstances. Then rise and live your day from that place, knowing the world will faithfully reflect the state you consistently occupy. My friends, if there is one truth I hope you carry with you, it is this. Your life is not determined by appearances, but by the state of consciousness you choose to inhabit. Every transformation begins within. Every miracle begins with an assumption accepted as true. Every new reality begins the moment you stop asking whether it is possible and start living as though it is already yours. Release the need to control every outcome. Let go of the endless search for signs and reassurance. Trust the unseen process that is already unfolding beneath the surface. Your imagination is not escaping reality, it is creating it. Tonight, before you close your eyes, leave behind every fear, every disappointment, and every limiting belief you carried throughout the day. Enter your imagination with confidence. Feel the joy of your fulfilled desire. Rest in that feeling until it becomes completely natural. Then sleep peacefully, knowing the seed has already been planted. Tomorrow, rise with quiet confidence. Walk as the version of yourself who has already received. Speak from fulfillment. Think from abundance. Love from wholeness. And no matter what the outer world shows you, remain faithful to the truth within. For the moment you truly trust, the moment you genuinely let go, and the moment you fully accept that your desire is already fulfilled, that is the moment your entire world begins to transform. Remember always, the power has never been outside you. It has always been within you. Trust it, live from it, and watch reality become a reflection of the person you have chosen to be. And before you leave tonight, I want you to carry one simple truth with you. You have never been forgotten, and you have never been abandoned. Every dream that has been placed within your heart was planted there for a reason. And even in the seasons when nothing seemed to move, something meaningful was still growing beneath the surface. The universe has never been working against you. It has always been shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you for the life you were meant to live. So stop fighting yourself and stop measuring your future by the limitations of today. Return instead to the quiet sanctuary within you, where hope still lives, where possibility still breathes, and where your spirit already knows that what is meant for you cannot be lost. Let your heart become lighter, and let your faith grow stronger than your fear. Trust that what belongs to you is already making its way toward you, even if your eyes cannot yet see it and your mind cannot yet understand how. Tonight, close your eyes with gratitude instead of worry. Smile as though your miracle has already arrived. Rest in the comforting knowing that everything is unfolding in perfect timing, exactly as it should. Let peace be your final thought before sleep, and let hope be the first breath you take when morning comes. You are deeply loved by the very life that created you, supported in ways you cannot always see, guided in ways you may not yet understand, and stronger than every challenge that has ever stood in your path. Walk gently, dream boldly, love fearlessly, trust completely, because the version of you who already has everything you desire is not waiting somewhere far away in the future. That person is awakening within you right now. Until we meet again, take care of your heart, protect your peace, and never forget that the greatest miracle you will ever witness is the one that begins inside you. Sleep well, trust deeply, and let life surprise you in ways more beautiful than you imagined. I'll see you in the next journey. Before we part tonight, I want you to sit with one final thought. If these words have touched something within you, it is because a deeper part of you already recognizes the truth. Nothing I have shared tonight has been given to you from the outside. It has simply awakened what has always been alive within you. The wisdom you seek has never been far away. It has been waiting patiently behind the noise, behind the fear, behind every moment you doubted your own light. So from this moment forward, be gentle with yourself. You do not have to have all the answers. You do not have to know every step of the journey. You do not have to force tomorrow into existence. Life unfolds one faithful moment at a time. Your only responsibility is to remain loyal to the person you have chosen to become. Every loving thought, every peaceful assumption, every quiet moment of faith is shaping a future more beautiful than your present mind can fully imagine. When tomorrow arrives, do not wake up searching for proof. Wake up searching for gratitude. Look for beauty instead of problems. Look for possibility instead of limitation. Smile before there is a reason. Be thankful before there is evidence. Live as though the miracle has already entered your life, because the moment you accepted it within yourself, it truly did. Never believe that you are behind in life. Never believe that you have missed your opportunity. What is meant for you cannot pass you by. The doors that belong to your destiny will open at exactly the right moment, and no person, no circumstance, and no delay has the power to steal what has already been prepared for you. Trust the timing, trust the process, trust the quiet intelligence that has been guiding you long before you became aware of it. And if there are days when fear returns, if doubt knocks at your door again, do not condemn yourself. Simply smile, take a slow breath, close your eyes, and come home to yourself once more. Return to the feeling that everything is already working in your favor. Return to the version of yourself who already knows. Every time you return, your faith becomes stronger. Every time you return, your peace becomes deeper. Every time you return, you remind the universe of the reality you have chosen to live. Always remember this: you are far more powerful than you have been taught to believe. You carry within you the ability to transform your life from the inside out. The love you seek, the abundance you desire, the peace you long for, the freedom you dream about, they are not waiting somewhere outside of you. Their first home is within your own consciousness. When they become real there, they cannot help but become real in your world. So tonight, release every burden you have been carrying. Forgive yourself for every moment you believed you were not enough. Forgive yourself for every time you doubted your own worth. Lay those old stories down with gratitude, because they have served their purpose. A new chapter begins the moment you decide that your past no longer has permission to define your future. May your heart be lighter than it was yesterday. May your mind become quieter with each passing day. May your imagination remain filled with hope instead of fear. And may your life become living proof that faith, love, and inner certainty are stronger than any appearance. Thank you for sharing these moments with me. Until we meet again, protect your peace as though it were your greatest treasure. Guard your imagination, because it is the birthplace of every miracle. Speak kindly to yourself. Believe in what cannot yet be seen, and never stop expecting wonderful things. Sleep peacefully tonight. Wake joyfully tomorrow. Walk confidently into your future. And always remember, the universe is not asking you to become someone else. It is simply waiting for you to remember who you have been all along. Take care of yourself, keep believing, and I'll see you in the next video.